dead.
Damn.
Yep, they killed me too. I was stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh, that dude got beamed, son.
Yeah, there's 3 back here totally.
Beamed.
Do it! Come on! Do it now!
Get melted, kid. Alright, I'm armoring up.
Oh, shoot the wrong dude.
Alright, now you can steal their shit.
I'm down. Fuck. Goddamn dude with the rifle build goes after me first.
They're dead. Getting shot at by another player. Haha. Good stuff.
Good shit.
You got. Come on, somebody stutter. The dude's like, dude, get your dick out your mouth.
Oh, see, look at you.
Yeah,
Look
bitch.
at you. You wait till you're standing right behind me like a little bitch.
I was standing right in front of your ass.
No, toxic. He just waits till he stands
I got
right
2
behind
of
me.
them. Now
Back to the
talking
checkpoint.
shit. Come on.
Back to the checkpoint.
Pillow talk, bro.
You like the pillow talk. You weren't complaining about it last night. You like my little hamster dick.
Come on out here.
You said,
Come on.
that shit the size of a needle, but it runs like a sewing machine. Give it to me, relentless. Be relentless with my ass cheeks.
Oh, right behind you.
Oh, I see him. I don't think this is me.
2 guys from what? Me. One is coming to you from above.
Yeah, how'd that shotgun work out for you? Told you, get you something else besides a shotgun. You'll do much better here.
I'll swallow your soul!
Come get some.
We are now.
Sorry. Sorry, buddy.
Don't come to my extraction with nothing on your back. Players. Behind you, El.
Oh, shit.
Behind you. He's down. Another one's down.
Yep. Got
Where's-
another one.
I'm hopping down.
Can you deal with that?
Oh no, Blunts is leaving. Oh no. Damn.
You didn't kill me, bitch, with your special ammo.
Yep. Following you. Why'd Blunts leave? Don't know. Damn.
Haha, I still downed and killed your boy. He's picking him up.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Boy. Let me sniff you, man. Let me sniff you.
They're coming back.
Yeah. Y'all smell like some of the wettest pussies there are. What's up, pussy boys?
He went rogue and he got killed by the fucking...
Get destroyed, you bot!
Yep, pushing on the left. He's one shot.
What the fuck did he hit me with?
Hey, bot.
Down.
Guess what? You're dead again, bitch. Go back to the checkpoint, you scrub. What is up, Gorilla Nation, and welcome back to another Division 2 build video. But if you enjoying the content, then smash that like button. Also hit that sub button if you happen to be new, and don't forget to reach up there, trigger the bell, and turn on post notifications, so that way you never miss a live stream or a video that is uploaded. I know, I'm going to be ridiculed in the comments. Oh, you're so toxic, you're such a bully. Well, if you know or have tuned into my live streams, you will know that typically 99.9% of the time, I'm in a private party. So what smack talk that, I actually say, it doesn't necessarily hurt those snowflake agents out there. It doesn't hurt their feelings, so that way they don't get triggered. But if you stay in the dark zone and only farm special ammo, and that is the only way you can kill me, as you've seen in the video footage, and then you want to emote and talk trash, then yes, I'm going to leave the party, I'm going to clown you, and I'm going to farm you and body you until you give up, just as the gameplay. Now, there is extensively more gameplay than that, which is I'll include and do a whole separate video for just the gameplay, because there is tons and tons of gameplay, but I didn't want to make this video, 25 to 30 minutes long. So I hope you enjoyed what gameplay there was, but stay tuned for more. And as you can see, I can take explosive damage. I did a ton of damage, and I looked, and I had never had a Railsplitter up until today when I went to the Den of Thieves, and I'm actually using the Railsplitter that I acquired in the Den of Thieves in DZ East earlier as the video that I posted. So, and then I was like asking around, I was like, well, what builds do typically people use with the Railsplitter? And 9 times out of 10, it's either Berserk or some form of Clutch, because of the high-end RPM of the magazine. It works out really well with Clutch. Well, I didn't want to follow the crowd. I am my own person, and I create my own meta, my own way, and my own perfect playstyle. Well, I wouldn't say perfect, but it is perfect for me. So you can tweak this as you see fit, but I didn't go Berserk, I didn't go Clutch, I didn't go Crit. So here it is. I went with Bloodsucker, the 2-piece True Patriot, the 3 Heliguard, and 1 Fenris. Now, I'm using Stop, Drop, and Roll as my sidearm because I am limited as far as when it comes to hazard protection. I do have, I think it's 20% for the 2-piece Heliguard, but as I always tell you, you don't need to have 100% hazard protection in order to be effective and still body people, just as, some people would prefer in going into 100% hazard protection, but one needs to be able to play without having that 100% hazard protection and actually use it to your advantage in ways as you saw in the clip. Yes, I hip-fired that last dude, the 4th one in that group, but, it wasn't the old style. He had a shotty, and let me just say, he just got bodied, and like I was nice about it. Told him, to go rethink his life and to put away those bot shotguns. But the Railsplitter, this is the one that I acquired in the Den of Thieves, 21.9K base, perfectly measured. Top half of the magazine has 20% rate of fire and 10%, negative 10% weapon damage. The bottom half of the magazine, negative 15% rate of fire and 20% total weapon damage. And of course, Allegro, and then recharged. While equipped, skills deploy at full armor have 25% duration, charges, and ammo, which works out well when it comes to since I'm utilizing the Hive and also the Pokey Heal, which is the Seeker Heal. I just call it the Pokey Heal. The second is I'm utilizing the Pyromaniac, 24.2K base with perfectly ignited. Deal 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit, of course with Allegro, and then overlapped while holstered gain 5% weapon handling. Now, as far as overlapped, I'd prefer protected reload, but this is the best one that I was able to acquire. And it's not far off from its max base potential. Just as this Railsplitter, it's not too far off. I think it's like only 800 in damage away from its maximum potential. So I got really, really lucky. Now, you can use whatever ARs that you want, but the reason I call it the Chimera, or Chimera, however you want to pronounce it with my broken grammar, is basically it's a 3-headed giant. Because the survivalist that I'm utilizing has those flame grenades in which can proc Pyromaniac, but also since I'm using Spark, then it can give me that additional damage to go either with the Pyromaniac or the Railsplitter, and then I have sufficient enough heals in my Pokey Heal to get a good chunk of health. So whatever weapons you prefer, do whatever you so choose, but as long as you have a sidearm weapon with stop, drop, and roll, you'll be just fine in the dark zone and not really need 100% hazard protection. But if you wanted to, you can find hazard protection on other gloves like Murakami, Overlord, things of that nature, or even Hiligar gloves, and then just transfer them over onto a pair of Fenris gloves, or find you a good True Patriot mask, and then just put, instead of the health that I have on mine, you can go with the hazard protection. But the ones to date have 553 skill power, and then 21,960 health, and then I have a mod slot. And with that mod slot, I get 6.5% weapon damage to my assault rifle. Now, the second piece of True Patriot, which gives me 10% bonus armor, is my holster. It has 787 skill power, 26,728 health, 2 offensive mod slots. First one, I get 6% assault rifle damage, and then in the second one, another 6.5% AR damage. Now on to the Furnace gloves. It's one of the best ones I could find. 12% assault rifle damage instead of the 1.5% crit chance. Like I stated, I'd prefer, maybe any form or fashion of hazard protection, even more health, or even more skill power. That, as you've seen on my True Patriot gloves, even that extra 384 will definitely come in handy. But these have devastating on it, 5% weapon damage, and of course, like I said, that 12% assault rifle damage. Now going to the 3-piece Hiligar, starting with the chest piece. This is the chest piece that I run also on my Pestilence build. I do have an Armadillo vest with the Berserk that practically gives me the same amount of damage. I'm just minus around 4% because my other chest piece has 14.5, so I drop 4%. And then I am a little bit tankier, and I tried extensively both in the dark zone, and as far as when it comes to multiple groups in the dark zone or just multiple enemies that I face, I have a ton more survivability when I go with Bloodsucker versus Berserk. Mainly because there's a lot of people either running rifle builds or specifically clutch builds, and if you know anything about Bloodsucker, then it feeds off clutch, because once they regain their health, they also get that 1% armor, and you can proc that Bloodsucker a few times in a PvP. So if you strip off that 1% armor, you get a proc. So it definitely does come in handy and extend your survivability. For 3 pieces, 5% total armor, 20% hazard protection, and I'm not using the Pulse skill power. Basically, the only reason why I'm running the third piece, other than the backpack and chest piece, is just that because the Hiligar knee pads do come with 2 defensive mod slots, and we'll get to the actual stats in that one. But if you want to mix and match however you want to, if you want hazard protection, then like I said, you can actually put hazard protection on the mask, and you're still good to go. You don't need 500 or 550k armor. It's just typically what shotgun bots actually do. But going back to the attributes, 15.5% total armor, 14.5% weapon damage, and then 25,816 health, and of course, Bloodsucker. You get depleting an enemy's armor, adds a stack of 25% bonus armor for 10 seconds, max stack is 6, and I believe its max stack is 2, and it's 15% bonus armor for 10 seconds, and it's max stack of 2 when it comes to PvP. In the defensive mod slots, I put the ones that have the best value on, meaning an armor numerical value plus the highest percentage value of armor, and then accompany that or couple that with some explosive resistance. 5128 armor, 3% total armor, 4% explosive resistance. Offensive mod slot, 6.5% weapon damage going to my AR, and then a defensive mod slot, 4869 armor, 3.5% total armor, and then another 3% explosive resistance. Now moving on to the backpack. 5.5% total armor, 5% weapon damage, and then 30,476 armor, and we're utilizing Hardened, which gives me 15% more armor, and then Spark. Damaging enemies with skills or explosives grant 15% weapon damage for 15 seconds, requires 9 or more offensive Legos. Now moving on to its mod slots, it has a defensive and offensive. 6.5% AR damage, and then 4869 armor, 3.5% total armor, and then another 3% explosive resistance. Now moving on to those knee pads. 30k base armor, which is excellent for knee pads, and then I had a 13.5% total armor that I got off some aces and 8s knee pads that I put on as the attributes, and then went with empowered. Plus 20% skill power, but if I'm able to find another 13.5% total armor, to more or less put on another pair of Heliguard, such as these with insulated, then that would actually boost my hazard protection up to at least 50%, so you know it would actually cut down the duration of that status effect. Then those 2 defensive mod slots in the first one, 3945 armor, 3% explosive resistance, 4% total armor, and then the second one, 5644 armor, 3% total armor, and then the 3% explosive resistance. Now I went with the specialist, the survivalist specialist, mainly because of that pokey heal, so that way you don't have to drop a chem and then stand in it. It'll typically follow you, and then you know sometimes it'll squirt behind you and you just run back into it, but it, you know, it saves time and is basically the best heal in the game as of right now. As also I'm using, you know, the flame grenades because, like I stated before, that will proc the Pyromaniac for that 40% extra damage, and then of course also Spark for another 55% damage by way of just those 2 talents alone, when accompanying them with the Hive that gives that bleed status effect, and of course also that flame grenade. Now speaking of that Seeker Healer Pokeball, 20,828 health pool. If you have better mods when it comes to, you know, the Healer Seeker, I only have, you know, these at 1722. It gives me 57.3% healing, and the second one 62.4 healing, which only requires 1873. So I have plenty enough skill power. I actually got 100 to spare, and with better rolls such as the skill power on my holster here, I know I can get a little bit higher than that, so that would actually help out. So that is mainly the reason why I'm running empowered here, so I can get up enough skill power to at least get at least 20,000 health on every time my Poke Heal actually sneezes. Yeah, that's how I call it, sneezes. But let's go over the character sheet. Starting out first, Railsplitter, weapon damage 21,870. There's the PvP. Now we'll switch over to the Pyromaniac, 16,612, 24,163. Not much as far as when the crits and critical range, because we're doing just off raw damage. And we get that 5% weapon handling because of that talent on the AR. We got 31.5% all weapon damage and then 62% assault rifle damage for a total of 93.5% assault rifle damage. Now we get 29% damage to health, just because those are baked in on the AR. No explosive damage. There's my list of talents. 443, 811 armor, and just keep in mind that if you have better pieces with better stats, then yours will reflect that on your particular build. But half the time it's not actually the build that matters most. If you got a decent build, good teamwork, communication, and most importantly placement, or just knowing your surroundings and actually utilizing them, you can actually beat someone with a, you know, maxed out build just because you know your surroundings and use them to your advantage, whether it be, you know, backing up a little bit as you're firing so that way it blocks the line of sight from somebody else from your side, or just like I showed you in that clip, to where there was still multiple enemies or players up. I had a back hallway to my right. I threw a flame grenade just in case if they tried to flank me that way, so at least they would catch on fire and be forced to release hip fire, especially if they didn't have any hazard protection on them, and try to deter them as he did and come in the doorway that I was actually waiting to pounce on him. Just like that part of the Chimera that's part of the lion, you know, that little finesse, but that lightning strike of the snake, and of course that, you know, complete devastating power of the dragon. So it all worked out really nice. 50,780 health regen, 15% protection from elites, 17% or 17.82% explosive resistance, and then of course just 20% hazard, bleed, blind, burn, and confuse, disrupt, and shock resistance. And there's everything else, but it's all, you know, not so much the build, but a lot of it is positioning. But if you can learn as far as how to position yourself in a fight, of course, you know, we can't always be in the ideal situation as far as when it comes to positioning, so that's when you rely more or less on your build, but you can use the aspects of your build such as flame grenades, skills, to more or less kind of bottleneck them and kind of turn them into the direction you want to go, just because they'll see, you know, your hive in one place, especially if they don't have 100% hazard protection, and they don't not going to want to run through it, so then that will, you know, kind of curve them to whatever direction that you would want them to go, so that way you can focus fire them down. But like I said, this is something that I prefer. You can go with crit, but just to show you, as in the gameplay, you don't have to utilize crit chance and crit damage when it comes to the Railsplitter. It is good that way as well, but it is not necessary, and you can do just as good against those clutch builds as you've seen in the clips, just by utilizing straight raw weapon damage. I believe someone put out a ultimate Railsplitter build, and their Railsplitter was only like 16.9. Silly Patrick. But anyways, that's his take. This is my take. I hope it benefits you. I hope it helps you out. And just know you don't have to follow the crowd or what somebody puts out in order to pretty much, show that you know and you belong in the dark zone and can compete with, basically any build out there. So hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to smash that ground and pound that like and subscribe button. And we'll see you guys fudging later.